receive it in these distribution points will be reconstituted by personnel trained to mix it and supply it, and then it has a lifespan of roughly 12 hours after they receive it.
At 4 o'clock this afternoon, private planes and 4 Texas Department of Public Safety aircraft began leaving Greater Southwest Airport with the vaccine. The 250,000 doses will be distributed to 26 different cities in the state. Tomorrow, more V vaccine will be arriving here, and more will be made available by Washington if necessary. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move, Greater Southwest Airport.
After a horse has been vaccinated, the protection will not begin for 7 to 10 days, and it will not become complete until about 14 days after the shot has been administered. So most of the people who have animals are taking other steps to try to protect them in the meantime. One simple precaution can be to put an ordinary insect repellent onto a cloth and wipe it onto the horse. This not only keeps away the mosquitoes that could be bearing the dread VEE, but also keeps away flies and other pesky insects. The purpose of putting it on a cloth and wiping it on the horse is if you're not sure whether the horse would be skittish for the use of an aerosol can. In addition to protecting the animal in person, you also need to pay attention to where the animals live. This is Duane Henley, who has horses at his home in Buckingham between Richardson and Garland. Mr. Henley, what kind of spray do you use?
We use a malathion spray. It's a regular livestock spray that you mix with water.
And about how often do you have to use it during this, right now that the scare is on?
Now that the scare is on, we've been using it twice a day. Now, normally we only use it about once a day.
And you cover pretty well all around the areas?
Oh, yes. We fog the stalls and fog underneath in the standing areas where the horses stay. And we try to keep everything clean and all picked up. And
go ahead and we'll see how it works.
Improvements in wages and benefits such as vacations, holidays, pensions, and medical and life insurance costs. The wages alone in the Dallas area would run between $18.50 a week to $29 a week.
It's an overall 31% increase in wages and benefits.
Taken in consideration over a 3-year period, it's about a 31.8, and that includes substantial raises in the second and third years.
And you have a cost of living escalator clause or built-in increases for cost of living increases?
Yes, we do, and it's based on the Department of Labor statistics.
What about the increases for workers in big cities? A special provision for them?
There was a special allowance made for workers in the big cities, including Dallas, of $5 additional a week to help pay for the parking and working in the downtown areas. All of the traffic operators in the city of Dallas will receive this additional $5.
Well, I would like to take a letter of welcome from the city of Dallas to Japan with me, to have that in my possession should we reach an agreement with the Japanese and the Chinese.
You said in Texas?
Yes, sir.
Don't you want to be more designated, more specifically, and say the city of Dallas?
Yes, I would. That's the reason I would like it from the Dallas City Council. We'll have the Japanese, the Canadians, the United States, and the mainland Chinese.
Does that include Red China?
That is Red China.
Dallas County at present has numerous departments that are conducted or directed by independently elected officials. So the present legislation which is before us, which enables a county to adopt either by a commissioner's court action or by a popular election a civil service program for the employees, here in the county we'll have the problem of the various elected officials and their various offices, which would be different than most instances you find.
The city manager and the council will have the opportunity to continually modernize and bring our city up to date. And on Section 4, Chapter 19, and Section 42, Chapter 28, we are in agreement thoroughly with that based on some of our past experience. And we are pleased that you are willing and interested in having the park department under the control of the city council and the city manager.
My function is to assist the board to determine the needs of the people in Tarrant County, that is the mental and emotional needs of the people, and to assist them to provide the kind of care and treatment that would most adequately meet the people's needs.
Don't you feel that you're at a disadvantage now with no staff to speak of and the problems that have beset the center in the past?
Well, as a matter of fact, the staff that we have, which is something like 54 people, has been doing a yeoman's job without a director. And I'm convinced that as soon as we can get adequate staffing, we'll be able to do a much better job.
Is to obtain a letter of welcome from the City Council to Dallas or to the state of Texas. And Mr. Garlow with the Chamber of Commerce is
there are 54 car antennas in 3 nights. Now, there have been others since then. They were broken off. Now, I have some facts here of photographs that and addresses that made up this picture. I have 2 case histories of neighbors who have told me I could use their stories, well, not publicly, but to the council members. The other stories are confidential material in the police records.
Mr. Duncan will first be faced with having to review and recommend approval of a budget to this board for submission to the State Commission on Mental Health and Mental Retardation. This document has to be submitted by the 13th of August. His simultaneous efforts will be directed at hiring staff for the position of business administrator. Some program direction and medical direction is also necessary for the staff, and he will be working on this.
Since you haven't had an executive director for about a year now, is he going to have to fill any leadership gaps?
Yes, definitely. We interviewed several people, and this was one of the primary reasons for hiring Mr. Duncan. We feel that he can commute with the community and communicate with the community, and also that he will be able to offer direction to the board as well as community leadership for mental health and mental retardation services.
Does that mean mental health and mental retardation in Fort Worth will finally get back on its feet?
We certainly hope so. This is our plan.